Picture this. A grown adult sits down to watch their first ever soccer match. The score is 0-0. It has been 0-0 for 45 minutes. A man falls down, rolls over 4 times, holds his shin like it has been surgically removed from his body, and then stands up completely fine 10 seconds later. And our brand new fan sits there thinking one simple thought. What on earth is happening, and why is everyone else in the room acting like this makes sense? If that has ever been you, you are not alone, and you are not stupid. Soccer just has a habit of never explaining itself, especially the World Cup. It is the biggest sporting event on the entire planet, watched by billions of people, and somehow nobody ever sits you down and tells you the actual rules. So that is what this is. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to learn every rule that actually matters in a World Cup match. Not the boring rulebook version, the version that lets you watch a game and understand exactly why everyone is screaming. By the end, you will know more than half the people in the room. Possibly more than the person who taught you the sport existed. Here's the good news before we start. Soccer has fewer rules than almost any sport you already watch. There is no thick playbook. There are no commercial breaks every 90 seconds. There are no 12 referees throwing little flags. The whole game runs on a small handful of ideas. The trouble is that nobody connects those ideas for you. They just expect you to absorb them through the television, like a houseplant. Let's start with the only point of the game, which is fittingly to score a goal. A goal happens when the entire ball crosses the entire line between the 2 posts. The whole ball. All of it. Not most of it. This sounds obvious until you watch a defender clear a ball that was 1 millimeter from going in, and an entire stadium loses its mind over that 1 millimeter. The team that scores more goals wins. That is the whole scoring system. There are no field goals, no extra points, no 2-point conversions. 1 ball in the net equals 1. A game that ends 3-1 just means somebody did that 3 times, and somebody else managed it once. Now the field. Each team has 11 players on it at any moment. One of those 11 is the goalkeeper, the only person allowed to use their hands, and only inside a painted box near their own goal. Everyone else uses feet, chest, head, thighs, anything except hands and arms. If the ball hits your arm, that is usually a handball, and play stops. This is why you will see players running around with their arms pinned to their sides like penguins. They are not cold. They are terrified of their own hands. A match lasts 90 minutes, split into 2 halves of 45. The clock counts up, not down, and here is the part that breaks American brains. It never stops. Ever. A player goes down injured, the clock keeps running. The ball flies into the stands, the clock keeps running. This is why, at the end of each half, the referee adds extra minutes back on. It is called stoppage time, and it is the referee's rough guess at how much time got wasted. Sometimes it is 2 minutes. Sometimes, in a dramatic match, it is 10, and an entire country ages a full decade waiting for the whistle. Which brings us to the rule that confuses every single newcomer on Earth. The offside rule. Take a breath. It is genuinely simple once someone says it plainly, and almost nobody says it plainly. Here it is. When your teammate passes the ball forward to you, you must have at least 2 opponents, usually the goalkeeper and 1 defender level with you or in front of you toward their goal. If you are hanging out behind the last defender when the ball is played, waiting all alone by the net, you are offside. Play stops. The whole idea is to stop attackers from just camping next to the goalkeeper, like a kid hovering by the snack table, before dinner is served. You have to time your run. You cannot cheat your way there early. And at the modern World Cup, this rule got a serious upgrade. The tournament now uses semi-automated offside technology. That is a fancy way of saying cameras and sensors track the ball and every player's body many times per second, and the system tells the referees the instant someone is offside. When the offside is 10 centimeters or more, the flag goes up almost immediately, and the assistant referees get an audio alert in real time. No more standing around for 3 minutes while a referee in a booth draws lines on a screen. The robots have entered the game, and honestly, they are faster than the humans. Now, what happens when a player breaks a rule and kicks a person instead of the ball? That is a foul, and fouls come with consequences on a color-coded system that is weirdly easy to follow. A foul gives the other team a free kick from that spot, which is an official warning. If you get 2 yellow cards in one match, they turn into a red card, and a red card means you are ejected and your team cannot replace you. They have to play the rest of the match with 10 players instead of 11. A straight red card for something really violent does the same thing instantly. Playing a man down is like running a relay race while carrying a refrigerator. It can be done. It is not fun. Here is something most casual fans get wrong. Now you can quietly correct them. A penalty kick is not just any foul. A penalty is awarded only when a foul happens inside the painted box around the goal, called the penalty area. When that happens, one player gets to shoot from 12 yards out, with only the goalkeeper to beat. It is the closest thing soccer has to a free point, and it has decided World Cup finals. Entire tournaments have come down to one kick from 12 yards. Now let's talk about how the World Cup itself is actually built, because the modern version is bigger and stranger than the one your parents grew up with. The World Cup now has 48 teams. That means 12 groups of 4 teams each, and well over 100 total matches. It is the largest World Cup that has ever existed, and it works in 2 big phases. First comes the group stage. Each team plays the other 3 teams in its group once. A win is worth 3 points, a draw is worth 1 point, and a loss is worth nothing. And yes, in the group stage, games are allowed to end in a tie. There is no overtime here, no penalty shootout, nobody has to win. You play your 90 minutes, you take your points, and you move on. After every team has played its 3 games, you add up the points. The top 2 teams in each group advance to the knockout rounds, and here's the modern twist. The 8 best third-place teams across all 12 groups also advance. So finishing third in your group is no longer an automatic flight home. It might be enough. It might not. It depends entirely on how the other third-place teams did, which makes the final day of the group stage pure chaos, with 8 nations doing frantic math and quietly praying. But what if 2 teams finish with the exact same number of points? This is where the tiebreakers come in, and the order matters because even longtime fans get it wrong. The first tiebreaker is the head-to-head result, who won when those 2 teams actually played each other. Only after that does it move to goal difference, which is the goals you scored minus the goals you let in, and then to total goals scored. And if teams are still somehow tied after all of that, it can come down to which team picked up fewer yellow and red cards, meaning good behavior can literally keep you in the World Cup. Your mother was right, manners matter. Once you survive the group stage, the rules change completely, because now we enter the knockout rounds. And the knockout rounds have one beautiful, brutal law. No ties allowed. Win and you move on. Lose and you go home. There are no replays, no second games, no adding scores together. Every single match has to produce a winner that day. So what happens if a knockout game is still tied after 90 minutes? Now you get extra time. That is 30 more minutes, split into two 15-minute halves, and the teams play all 30 minutes no matter what. There is no golden goal where the first team to score instantly wins. That rule was scrapped a long time ago. Extra time now runs the full 30 minutes regardless of who scores. And if it is still tied after that? Then we arrive at the most stressful 90 seconds in all of sports, the penalty shootout. Each team picks 5 players. They take turns shooting one-on-one against the goalkeeper. Whoever scores more wins. It is the single most nerve-wracking way to lose a soccer match, because grown professional athletes, the best on earth, miss, and entire countries weep in real time. World Cups have been won and lost on a single penalty shootout, and once you have watched one, you never forget it. Now let's cover a few smaller rules that the modern game added to speed things up, because knowing these makes you look like you have been watching for years. There is now a 5-second countdown rule. A goalkeeper holding the ball, or a player taking a throw-in or goal kick, only has so long before they lose possession. Stall too long on a throw-in, and the other team gets the ball. Waste time on a goal kick, and you can concede a corner. The game also cracked down hard on time wasting. A substituted player now has to leave the field within 10 seconds, and goalkeepers can no longer fake injuries just to burn the clock. The era of the slow, dramatic 60-second stroll off the pitch is over. The clock is watching now. And one last quick one, because it always comes up. A substitution is when a team swaps a tired player for a fresh one. Each team can make 5 substitutions per match, and they carry a deep squad of players for exactly that reason. Because World Cup matches are often played in brutal summer heat, and fresh legs win tournaments. And that is it. That is every rule that actually matters in a World Cup match. The goal, the offside trap, the cards, the penalties, the giant 48-team format, the tiebreakers that reward good behavior, and the knockout rounds where ties go to die. You now understand the World Cup better than the friend who has been watching for years, but has never once been able to explain offside to you. So the next time you see a man roll around on the ground holding his shin, and then sprint away 30 seconds later completely fine, you will know exactly what is happening. He is fine. He was always fine. That is just soccer. Welcome to the most watched event on planet Earth.